So, another harmful myth that I want to address is the myth of false accusations or false reports when it comes to sexual violence. And part of victim blaming in rape culture, the narrative that women lie about sexual assault, that they falsely accuse men, that they regret a sexual encounter, and then falsely claim rape is not true. It is not true at all, and it is harmful. And this is something that no other crime or no other violent crime experiences. No one will say if someone says that they were robbed, no one says like, oh, people just lie about that. People lie about getting robbed. It's just another false accusation against that robber. You want to sue that robber for their money. Nobody would say that. The way that particularly men, but people who subscribe to the victim blaming narrative and the stigma and stereotypes surrounding sexual violence that are false, the way that they talk about the rates of false accusations in their mind and the way that they portray to others is that 99% of sexual assault allegations are false. In reality, only 2 to 4% of sexual assault reports to the police are false. And that is exactly similar to any other crime, including burglary or including like theft or murder. Literally any crime, they have almost identical false report rates. And if we do see a false report that falls in that less than 5% category, most of the time it's not like a malicious intent of trying to accuse someone to get them thrown in jail or trying to accuse someone to get after their money or if they're in a position of power or ruin their life. Unfortunately, most of the time it's someone who might have like some sort of like developmental disability, or maybe confused in a sense of what like happened to them in terms of like consent or non-consent. Sometimes it could be like someone who has significant mental health challenges, like an hallucination, or like a delusion. Those are typically what we see in cases of false reports, which again are incredibly rare. But we hear it all the time, right? That false accusations ruin lives, that they ruin men's lives. And let's say, for example, even if the rates of false accusations were higher than less than 5%, which they're not, but even so, the myth that false accusations ruin men's lives is false. It's false anyway. We can look at the United States, for example. The president of the United States has been accused and so much evidence and proof that he is a rapist, that he has sexually assaulted so many women, that he's involved in like the Epstein files and in terms of being a child predator. There's none of those allegations, none of those accusations, none of those crimes that he committed even deterred him in the slightest. He's president again for a second term. There's been no consequences, not only legally but like socially as well. His supporters, that doesn't faze them. They just go right to that's wrong. So no, they don't ruin men's lives or careers. We can look at another example. Chris Brown. Chris Brown has not only is famously known for abusing his girlfriend at the time, Rihanna. Chris Brown has been accused of sexual violence multiple times by multiple different women. I don't think he's gone more than 2 years without physically assaulting someone, both man and woman. He is a chronic abuser, yet still has a successful career, still makes music, people still go to his concerts, not been canceled, not have like legal ramifications. So those are just two examples of like popular men in power that can experience like so many accusations, but also like we know it's the reality that they're not accusations, it's true. But so many get away with just all of their crimes, right? And then not experience any ramifications. So I keep that in mind. Of course, false accusations, as a recap, less than 5%, exactly the same as every other crime. Mm-hmm. However, even if they weren't, that second pairing of they ruin lives, also incorrect.